Reciprocal pronouns. It expresses a relationship between the individuals indicated in the plural subject. A reciprocal pronoun is a pronoun which is used to indicate that two or more people are carrying out or have carried out an action of some type, with both receiving the benefits or consequences of that action simultaneously. Anytime something is done or given in return, reciprocal pronouns are used. The same is true anytime mutual action is expressed. There are only two reciprocal pronouns. Both of them allow you to make sentences simpler. They are especially useful when you need to express the same general idea more than once. Each other one another reciprocal pronouns are easy to use. When you want to refer to two people, you will normally use each other. When referring to more than two people, for example the students in a lecture hall, you will normally use one another. Examples of reciprocal pronouns. Reciprocal pronouns help prevent repetition within sentences. In the following examples, reciprocal pronouns have been italicized for ease of identification. Maria and Juan gave each other gold rings on their wedding day. Maria and Juan kissed each other at the end of the ceremony. Terry and Jack were talking to each other in the hallway. We give each other gifts during the holidays. The students congratulated one another after giving practice speeches. The kids spent the afternoon kicking the ball to one another. The defendants blamed one another for the crime they were charged with. We use reciprocal pronouns when each of two or more subjects is acting in the same way towards the other. For example, A is talking to B, and B is talking to A, so we say, A and B are talking to each other. The action is reciprocated. John talks to Mary and Mary talks to John. I give you a present and you give me a present. The dog bites the cat and the cat bites the dog. There are only two reciprocal pronouns, and they are both two words. Each other one another. When we use these reciprocal pronouns, there must be two or more people, things or groups involved, so we cannot use reciprocal pronouns with I, you, singular, he, she, it. They must be doing the same thing. Look at these examples. John and Mary love each other. Peter and David hate each other. The 10 prisoners were all blaming one another. Both teams played hard against each other. We gave each other gifts. Why don't you believe each other? They can't see each other. The gangsters were fighting one another. The boats were bumping against each other in the storm. List of reciprocal pronouns. Most style guides only consider there to be two reciprocal pronouns, and both of them consist of two words. These reciprocal pronouns are each other one another. Be cautious of each other. The words each and other can be used by themselves as indefinite pronouns. Additionally, the word each can be used as an adjective or an adverb, and the word other can be used as an adjective, adverb, noun, or even a verb. For example, the sentence each bird in the tree looks different from each other. One uses each as an adverb and other as an adjective. What's the difference between an adjective and adverb? Find out now. Examples of reciprocal pronouns. Let's look at how we use reciprocal pronouns in sentences to express mutual relationships. Each other. Romeo and Juliet love each other. The coaches spoke to each other about strategy. The chimpanzees shared food with each other. One another. The members of the board congratulated one another on a successful quarter. At the roast, the guests took turns making jokes about one another. The elephants stood close together in order to protect one another. How to use reciprocal pronouns. There is one important thing to know about reciprocal pronouns that separates them from other pronouns. Unlike other pronouns, reciprocal pronouns typically only make grammatical sense when they are used as objects. This means that we usually do not put a reciprocal pronoun as the subject of a sentence, clause, or phrase. Correct. Barry and Mary are friends. They smiled at each other. Incorrect. Barry and Mary are friends. Each other smiled at them. It is also important to know that reciprocal pronouns have different meanings than reflexive pronouns. These two types of pronouns usually cannot be used interchangeably because the meaning of the sentence will change. For example, reciprocal pronoun, Jenny and Kenny hugged each other. This sentence means Jenny hugged Kenny and Kenny hugged Jenny. Reflexive pronoun, Jenny and Kenny hugged themselves. This sentence means that Jenny hugged herself and Kenny hugged himself. It is possible to use each other and one another as possessive words. The students looked over each other's homework. The countries agreed to respect one another's trade routes. Examples. Two boys fought with each other. Here, each other is reciprocal pronoun. Some more examples. The boys fought with one another. The members of the family love one another. What is an interrogative pronoun? An interrogative pronoun is a pronoun which is used to make asking questions easy. There are just 5 interrogative pronouns. Each one is used to ask a very specific question or indirect question. Some, such as who and whom, refer only to people. Others can be used to refer to objects or people. Once you are familiar with interrogative pronouns, you'll find that it's very easy to use them in a variety of situations. Interrogative pronouns can also be used as relative pronouns, which may be found in questions or indirect questions. You'll know for certain that a pronoun is classified as an interrogative when it's used in an inquiring way, because interrogative pronouns are found only in question and indirect questions. The 5 interrogative pronouns are what, which, who, whom, and whose. What, used to ask questions about people or objects. Examples. What do you want for dinner? I wonder what we're doing tomorrow. What is your friend's name? What time are we supposed to be there? Which, used to ask questions about people or objects. Examples. Which color do you prefer? Which of these ladies is your mother? She asked which train to take. Which seat would you like? Who, used to ask questions about people. Examples. Who is that? Who was driving the car? I'm wondering who will be at the party. Who is going to take out the trash? Whom. This interrogative pronoun is rarely seen these days, but when it shows up, it is used to ask questions about people. Examples. Whom did you speak to? Whom do you prefer to vote for? You should ask whom to call. Whom do you live with? Whose, used to ask questions about people or objects, always related to possession. Examples. Whose sweater is this? Whose parents are those? I wonder whose dog knocked our garbage can over. Whose phone is that? In some cases, interrogative pronouns take on the suffix ever. A few can also take on the old-fashioned suffix soever, which is rarely seen in writing these days. For example, whatever, whatsoever, whichever, whoever, whosoever, whomever, whomsoever, whosever. Interrogative pronouns are very easy to remember and use. Memorize them to make things even simpler. An interrogative pronoun often stands for something you are not aware of yet, because you are asking about it. You use these pronouns specifically to ask questions. The 5 main interrogative pronouns in English are: what, subject or object pronoun that asks about a thing; which, subject or object pronoun that asks about a person or thing; who, subject pronoun that asks about a person; whom, object pronoun that asks about a person; whose, possessive pronoun that asks about a person. Like all pronouns, interrogative pronouns stand in for a noun. The nouns they stand in for are called antecedents, and the antecedents are the answers to the question. You'll find interrogative pronouns in sentences like these: what is that? Answer: it is a sweater. What replaces sweater, the subject in the nominative case, which is better? Answer: the red one is better. Which replaces the red one, the subject, who is calling? Answer: Linda is calling. Who replaces Linda, the subject? Whom did you invite? Answer: I invited Linda. Whom replaces Linda, the object, whose is this? Answer: it is Linda's. Whose replaces Linda's, the possessive noun. The answers to these questions are either people, who, whom, whose, or objects, what, which. In casual writing, which can be used for people, the words whatever, whichever, whoever, and whomever are also considered interrogative pronouns, though they are less common. Interrogative pronouns versus relative pronouns. When interrogative pronouns appear in sentences that are not questions, they are no longer interrogative pronouns. Instead, they're relative pronouns, which connect a noun and another clause. Whom, whose, who, and which are relative pronouns, and instead of what, you'd use that. For example, Yvonne chose chocolate cake, which is her favorite flavor. Which connects chocolate cake and is her favorite flavor. The student who scores the highest on the quiz gets a special treat. Who connects student with scores the highest? I talked to the teacher whom I trust the most. Whom connects teacher with I trust the most. The person whose car was stolen has filed a report. Whose connects person with car was stolen. My brother enjoys games that require teamwork. That connects games with require teamwork. These relative pronouns are now linking words, almost, but not exactly, like conjunctions. Keep in mind that even though the interrogative words are present, they are not working as interrogative pronouns in these types of sentences. Interrogative pronouns versus interrogative determiners. It's easy to mistake interrogative pronouns for interrogative determiners. Unlike pronouns, determiners modify a noun or pronoun that is already provided in the sentence. Whose, what, and which are interrogative determiners when there is a noun or pronoun present. For example, whose shirt is this? What movie should we watch? Which car is better? These words are no longer acting like pronouns because they are modifying the nouns, shirt, movie, car. Removing the nouns forces the determiners to act like pronouns again. Understanding the difference between interrogative pronouns and interrogative determiners can be the difference between writing open-ended questions and questions with a set number of responses. Interrogative pronouns versus interrogative adverbs. There are several other words that start with WH, but watch out. Not all WH words are interrogative pronouns. Where, when, why, and how are interrogative adverbs. They modify the verbs in their sentences. For example, where did Andrea go? Where modifies go. When do you have to wake up tomorrow? When modifies wake up. Why are you crying? Why modifies crying. How does this blender work? How modifies work. These interrogative adverbs are important parts of questions, especially because they're part of the 5 W's. But they are not interrogative pronouns because they are not pronouns. They don't replace any nouns in the sentence. Examples of interrogative pronouns below are a few examples of interrogative pronouns being used correctly in questions. Notice how they replace nouns in each example, and don't modify other nouns or verbs. What is your favorite? Who did you call? Whoever would have taken it. Whose did you buy? Whatsoever do you mean by that? Whom were you speaking with last night? Which did you choose? Who is that? What will you do? Whom should I choose? Interrogative pronouns are used to ask questions. The words who, whose, what, which and whom are interrogative pronouns. Examples. Who used all my paper? Who is Mom talking to? Who are those people? Some more examples. Whose pen is this? Whose are these shoes? What is your brother's name? What does Tom want? What is the date today? 8. Other pronouns. All, each, every, another, both, either, neither, enough, little, less, fewer, many, most, several, someone, any, few, much.